Hi everyone. Today we're going to be reviewing some Spanish 1 material. And so those of you that have workbooks already that I've seen this week, you can go to page 9 in your workbooks. It's just easier to copy the answers in there. We're going to be working together a little bit. And those that don't, you're going to go to your online workbook in the Google Classroom on page 9. So you can just pause this video and find that page. And at the top, you're going to see that it says definite and indefinite articles. And if you remember, that was the way to say el, la, los, and los. And those all mean the. So if you look at the top, it says definite and indefinite articles. And it says articles identify nouns. And it says they blank with the nouns they modify in blank and blank. Okay, so if you were here, I'd be able to ask you the answers, but you're not, so I'm going to help you with this. So it says articles identify nouns. That means that they are always with the noun and they show what the noun is. So it would be they blank with the nouns they modify. They agree with the nouns they modify. If you remember, that means that they we'll see in the end, they agree with the nouns they modify in gender. So if you remember, every noun is masculine or feminine, not just people, but all things are too. And number, so they're all either singular or plural. So again, it would be they agree for the first one on the first line with the nouns they modify in gender, G-E-N-D-E-R, and number. Then we have definite articles, and it says the. It tells you what they are, the. That means the in English. And then we have masculine, feminine. So we're under masculine where it says singular, you're going to write L. And under feminine, if I would be able to ask you, you would know, hopefully, that means la. And then for plural, the masculine was los. And the feminine was a little easier. You put los. You just put an S on la, los. Now the indefinites were a little bit different. That was the way to say a or an or some. So under masculine, where it says singular a, you're going to put un, un. And under plural, go down, where it says some, you're going to put unos, U-N-O-S. And then go over, feminine, una, U-N-A. And under the plural, you're going to put unas, U-N-A-S. Okay? So let's turn the page. We're going to continue our review. Subject, pronouns, and ser. So it says the subject of a sentence tells. What does the subject of a sentence tell? Well, the subject of a sentence tells who's speaking, right? So, like, if it was I or you or he or she or we or they, we know now who is the speaker. So it tells who is speaking. So you should put in the first line who is speaking. Then it says you often use people's blank as the subject. And if you look down in dark print, we have Gregorio and Anna. So you often use people's names as the subject, right? And then under there it says you can use names or subject pronouns. Subject pronouns. And that's just a fancy way to say I, you, he, she, we, or they, to tell who is doing an object, action. The subject pronouns replace people's names. Replace. So that you don't have to keep saying their name over and over and over again, right? Here are all the subject pronouns. You remember these? So we have yo. What did yo mean? I, right? So next to yo, write I. Then we had to, which was you. And that was for singular, right? One you. Because remember in Spanish, they could say like you all. And then they also had the informal and formal. So that was you. Informal, which meant family and friends, right? Then we had él, which is he. Ella, she. Usted, which was you, formal. So that's like someone we call sir or ma'am. Mr. or Mr. I'm sorry, Mr. or Mrs., not Mr. Mr. Nosotros or nosotras, which was we masculine or we feminine. Vosotros was the you in Spain, so we're going to skip that one. And then ellos, which was they masculine. Ellas, they feminine. And ustedes, which was you all, right? Like a big group of people, all of you. Then we had tú, usted, ustedes, and vosotros all mean you. Use tú with family, friends, people your age or younger, and anyone you call by his or her first name. Remember, if I'm going too fast, you can always pause this, right? Use usted with adults you address with a title, such as señor, señora, profesor, profesora, etc. Usted is usually written as a UD with a period for short. In Latin America, use ustedes when speaking to a group of people, regardless of age. Remember, we always said you all, right? Ustedes is usually written as UDS period. In Spain, use vosotros or vosotras when speaking to you, called two individually. So, like two of you that you know. So, two of you. So you're going to write TWO, two of you. Okay, so we're going to keep going. This is actually, I think, this is our last page that we have to work on right now. Okay, so page 11. If a group is comprised, which just means made up of, it's a fancy word, of blank only or of both males and females. So males only or both males and females together, use the masculine forms. masculine. Nosotros, vosotros, ellos. You can combine a subject pronoun and a name to form a subject. Alejandro y yo equals nosotros, right? Nosotros. You can copy it from right at the top. It's right there. Carlos y ella, Carlos and her, would be ellos, right? Ellos, ELLOS. Pepe y tú, Pepe and you, would be ustedes, USTEDES. And Lola y ella, Lola and her, would be ellas, two girls, ELLAS. The verb ser, the verb to be. Use ser with subject pronouns to identify or blank a person, or to say where he or she is. So, to identify or describe a person, or to say where he or she is from. So those two lines are describe and from. So remember, or maybe you don't remember, but Sarah meant to be. To be. And that was one of the first verbs we learned, ser, to be. And if you remember, it was yo soy, right? I am. So you write down yo soy, next to it you can write I am. Tu eres, you are. Él es, he is. Ella es, she is. Usted es, you are. Nosotros or nosotras somos, we are. Vosotros, we skip. And then ellos son, they masculine are. Ellas son, they feminine are. And ustedes son, you all are. Then they have an example on the bottom. Nosotros somos amigos. We are friends. And again, if I went too quickly, you can always pause this video at any point and just write down what I said and then keep it going. So that is a little review of Spanish 1, the most important highlights. Okay, and that'll keep us together this week, keep us going together this week for the rest of the week for review. But please keep up on your Google Classroom and make sure you watch for any assignments, because there might be a page I ask you to do. Make sure you watch this video, fill in the blanks. That will count also. Again, if you don't have your workbooks yet, you'll have to write it on some paper. You can either slip it into the workbook or rewrite it after. Okay, gracias. Hasta luego.